Yo, what is up, greaseballs? Today we're going to be taking a look at the recently released Wave 3 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC Booster Pass, which added new tracks to the game. I was originally opposed to this DLC, as Mario Kart 8 isn't my favorite in the series, and I wanted them to get to Mario Kart 9 already. But Wave 3 sparked my curiosity, and the tracks are really good, so I finally got it, and we'll be doing a little tier list today to see which ones are the best ones of this waves, in my opinion. If you want me to retroactively rate the other two waves so far, drop a comment and we'll make it happen. A quick tangent beyond the tracks, this wave updated the game so now there is an item toggle. This is phenomenal. You can turn off items that you don't enjoy, and for us in my group, we don't like the coins because it's a relatively useless item in first place, and something like a green shell is better so you can protect yourself from red shells or use it offensively instead of a coin. This item toggle is great for custom games and replayability. Like in my Discord the other day, we all played with only blue shells, bombs, and bullet bills. So it was absolute chaos, and it was incredibly fun. And just like a small change like this item filter, increased Mario Kart's party vibe and made it even better. So now with that said, let's get into the tracks. First up, we have London Loop from Mario Kart Tour. This is going into straight S tier. Some of the other real-world tracks from Tour and the other waves felt like misses to me, but this one lands the Mario Kart feeling with chain chomps and grassy shortcuts. I feel like the city turns, like in the street, and the changing layout from lap to lap make races on this course really competitive and energetic. I've had a fun time on it every single time. The chain chomps run around later on too, giving the London environment a bit more of a traditional Mario flair. The chomps are really big and directly on the track, which I found hard to avoid sometimes, but I think that's a good thing, and I think that avoiding the chain chomps will bring a skill ceiling to the level as we learn to adapt to them. Next up we have Boot Lake from the GBA. This is going into A tier because it's a really good addition to Mario Kart 8. It looks phenomenal with the ghostly atmosphere, and they took a flat track from the GBA and gave it a lot of depth. No pun intended, but yeah, quite literally you go underwater into the depths, and you drive through with this cool underwater section with all these hills and new ramps. You might say that it's a skill issue on my part, and maybe it is, but I find one turn on this track incredibly weird. There's no other turn in Mario Kart 8 that is this weird for me, and I haven't been able to drift into it perfectly over multiple races, and I always end up bumping into the wall. But outside of that, the race is pretty fun on this one. Running right into the next course, we have Rock Mountain from the 3DS, which is without a doubt an S tier course. This is one of the most memorable courses from Mario Kart 7 in my opinion, and I also enjoyed playing it modded into the Mario Kart Wii with CTGP. Rock Mountain is a great race, and it has plenty of opportunities for gliding, and is the best stage which executes this ability. Mario Kart 8 often inserts gliding pointlessly, and the gimmick doesn't really result in a lot of complexity when it's added onto tracks randomly. Rock Mountain feels like it was made for gliding, and it gives gliding pros and cons and multiple routes that you can choose from. And this track is a very good addition to the game, and will probably be replayed a lot. Next up we have Maple Treeway from the Wii, which I just realized is a play on words from the racing term freeway. Like freeway, treeway. Autocorrect helped me figure that out. Anyway, this is going into A tier because I believe it's just alright. It's not bad, but it's not great in my opinion. And Maple Treeway is one of the fan favorite courses from the Wii, and that's my favorite Mario Kart game, so maybe I just have high expectations for these courses, or the nostalgia is too good. Either way, nothing is really wrong with this course. It's pretty much the exact same race, so it's really fun. Just a few subtle things make it an ever so slight downgrade from the Wii though, in my opinion. The original is just the best version of the course. The Wiggler section feels less like an obstacle, maybe because the treetop is wider, or the Wigglers are moving something differently, I'm not really sure. But the worst change is the removal of the rope bridge at the end for a pointless gliding section, which feels like one of those parts where Mario Kart 8 just tacks on the gliding gimmick, so we don't forget about it. This is worse than the bridge because if you get hit by an item during this section, you lose more time than you did on the Wii. From the Moon Cup, we have Berlin Byways from Tour. This is a really solid course and goes into A tier for me because it's a fun new experience. Like London, I enjoy this Tour course more than some of the earlier waves, which felt a bit mid. Drop a like if you want me to go and review the earlier waves as well. But yeah, Berlin is a great race. It has the traffic gimmick like some other courses, such as Moonview Highway from the Wii, where there are non-racers driving around and serving as obstacles on the course. Courses with traffic and like the real-world cars are always fun in my opinion, and I'm a bit biased towards them. But it does add a lot of chaos to the race. Berlin also has a really great layout for racing, and I might be convinced to put it into S tier and swap London to A tier with more playing, but we'll see. You can also trick off the womps from the Berlin wall, so that's kind of funny. Now we have Peach Gardens from the DS, which is going into C tier and is the only real disappointment for me personally from Wave 3. I enjoyed this course on the DS where it's originally from, but more specifically, I enjoyed it a lot on Mario Kart Wii where it was a retro course. This one feels like a downgrade from the Wii version, and unlike Maple Treeway, which was pretty inoffensive about it, this one is hard to overlook. The Wii had flower patches on multiple turns which served as an obstacle, like off-road terrain that you could navigate around or mushroom through. In this course, there are no flowers, just free turns, which lowers the skill ceiling on the track and race immensely. It also leaves the course feeling naked, and the track feels really wide. There's so much room on the track, and it feels like items like bananas won't really have a use because there's just so much space to go around them. It needs to be narrower, in my opinion. The interesting thing about this course, though, is that on lap 3 you go backwards. This is indeed a cool addition and a new spin on a familiar track, but I don't think it saves it from its flaws. The course does look really pretty though, as does all of Mario Kart 8. Next up, we have Merry Mountain, a new Christmas-themed course, which is appropriately dropped in this December release period. I'm putting this in B tier because it's new content and it's solid. It's somewhat of a standard race of going up a mountain and coming down the hill, but the beginning has 2 possible routes which you can take, which add a little bit of complexity to it. The atmosphere is very fun on this course, and the downhill section is a bit reminiscent of Mount Wario. I feel like the end could use a little bit more item boxes, because if you don't get one at like the top of the mountain, you don't get another one for quite a while. But it's not a bad course, and a solid addition to the game. Lastly, we have Rainbow Road from the 3DS. How many Rainbow Roads are there in Mario Kart 8 now? Like, there's so many. It's getting kind of crazy, but this one is probably the best one, if not one of the best ones, and it's going directly into S tier without debate. This is a phenomenal addition and a great race with a high skill ceiling in my opinion. There are no laps, just like Rainbow Road in 64, it's just one long track. This means that each section has to be executed correctly on the first and only go around by the player. The course looks amazing, and it might be one of the best looking courses in the game, and the track itself is a great race. You go through a variety of sections and use pretty much every gimmick or type of turn to the fullest on this course. If you were looking at a list of all the Mario 8 courses right now, like a tier list, I think this one would still be an S tier. Not just from Wave 3, but overall. And that's my opinion on the DLC. Are you enjoying the tracks? What do you think of the new item toggle? And do you want to see me rate the other waves? Let me know. I'll catch you later, greaseballs.